Hello, everyone. Oh my God, I keep doing that. I definitely need to get a better sound, a better song that doesn't just cut hard like that. I do not love that. Oh, how's everybody doing? Yo, yo, yo. Oh my God, thank you. The fuck ass bun is in effect. It's one of my favorite shirts. Welcome, welcome. Listen, not quite Chris. I don't know what Germa is, but thank you. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Gwen making me miss my fuck ass bun. Oh, it is nice. It is nice to have, if you can have it. She is see-through. This is a little tank top. I just do like a black tank underneath. You could do whatever you want. I love it. It's one of my faves. Okay, so yes, new headphones with a longer cord, which is what I needed. We have one thing to talk about tonight, and I am upset with everybody who recommended that I watch this video because it just feels like that's time that I can't get back. Of course, I'm talking about Cruel World, Happy Minds, right? Newish video about internalized misogyny. So we are essentially going back to the writer's workshop, which we've used for Taylor Lorenz and Kat Tenbarge. But this time it's a slightly different medium, although I do have her entire script. So I have marked up that script a lot, and that is what I'm going to be using as we walk through the video. It's about 45 minutes long. I will be skipping parts of it that just have like nothing, like you'll see, because it's about internalized misogyny, but she goes on these very long bird walks into like normal misogyny, and then just talking. It's just a whole thing. So we'll get there. When I feel bored, we will skip around. We will skip around for that stuff. So that is what we're doing tonight. Drivel is a great word for it. And that's it. And then after this stream, we are keeping the party going for members. We are doing part 6 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? And tonight's episode is all about Wendy. Now, if you remember, Wendy has been a bit of a question mark on the chart. On the friendship relationship chart that I've been building out for this story. We've mentioned her a couple of times, and tonight the Wendy story comes to fruition. When I watched it, I thought she was talking about you. You are not alone. You're not alone in that. Please, someone come through with the gifted subs. Yeah, so after this stream, it's going to redirect for members, and we're going to do a whole stream talking about Wendy, who was my best friend for a long, long time, and how she's related to all of this. Oh yeah, IDubbbz saying dribble instead of drivel was so funny. Yes, and as Deej is saying, don't forget to sign up for the reading challenge.
Do we want to talk about the lesbian tarantulas?
Ooh, thank you, Granny. Thank you for the gifted membership, just in time. Welcome, Banana Man, if they're here. I will be scheduled for Rewatch Crew tomorrow, but I love showing up to say hi. Oh, thank you, Hillary. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, shout out Granny for the gifted. But yeah, on Discord, we just launched it last night. Well, Discord's been open. We launched the Winter Reading Challenge. You can find out all about it on Discord. I don't know how, but there are already...
She orbits no man.
Thank you! Yay, Scrat, for the gifty. And welcome, Alex. There are already like 15 books. that I need to make little origami cranes for. You people are insane. I don't, it feels like there's weights in fish, but I'm going to make them anyway because I want to encourage reading in our group. I don't like the word gifted after your bug chasing lesson. Oh my God, that's right. You went to the library for this? That's awesome. There is a library related side quest. I wonder if you went, if you did that while you were there. Kate, I have to say thank you for getting me into the PWHL. I'm obsessed. Yay! I'm so excited about that for you. Thank you, thank you. That's so good to hear. CamBam9953. This is going to go so hard. Thank you so much. I don't know why the alert box didn't show up, but I see you. And I see your amazingly generous donation. I want to just try this donations thing again, the super chats thing. 10 super chats, all the colors. We'll say 15 minutes and just see if like smaller donos come through. I am saying all the colors, so hopefully it'll work. You will be cool. Start goal. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. I don't know why this isn't working. Let me try refreshing it. Okay. All right. Oh, Kimberly, I did see you tag me in that. Kate, you and the wife need to make a trip to Minnesota and go to our all-women sports bar, a bar of their own. Oh my God, I have heard about it. And we have really wanted to visit Minnie, so that may happen. That definitely might happen. I want to go to the sports bra in Portland. There's also one in Philly now as well. And Philly's like my favorite city. You have a client in the upcoming season of Deadlock. I'm obsessed with that show. Obsessed with that show. Okay, we're stalling. I'm procrastinating. Like I procrastinated watching this fucking video all day. Okay, so if you're just joining tonight, we are, yes, it's called the Sports Bra. It's the bar in Portland for women's sports. Tonight we are talking about Cruel World, Happy Minds video on internalized misogyny. I'm gonna save my commentary for the video and for the end. I have watched this. I've marked it up. Because she shares her entire script, which I don't know if that's smart. She shares her script so I can see everything she was going to say. I can see the things that she cut out. This isn't any kind of like...
GWHM over here.
Okay, it looks like it's working.
Atlanta
Yay!
Julie 33 says, "Hi from bed while I wait for my Chipotle label."
Lana.
Purple heart emoji.
Thank you, Lana. Also, you don't gift me. You're a mod. You do lots of work. But thank you. Oh, the brainworms are already in my brain now after watching this. So we're just gonna get into it. There might be times, like I said, where I just get fucking annoyed and want to skip things, but I will try my best to stick to it. I will say this is not... I'm going to give the video its due when appropriate. You guys know I am a hater ass bitch, especially when it comes to Madison, because she was a hater ass bitch to me. She got very upset at my critique of her video, which was on the basis of, all the illogical lies she put in it. And she decided to attack me on a personal level. So since then, yeah, I've been a hater ass bitch with a lot of smoke for her, and I'm trying to just watch this and have the reaction it deserves without just being a total asshole. Is that going to happen? I don't know. There are moments in my notes where I go all caps because I'm just so annoyed and frustrated with her. So we'll see how long I can keep my cool. But here we go, guys. Here the fuck we go. Can I make this a little bit bigger? Let's see. I think, okay, I will say just up front, one of the most breathtaking things about this video is how she acts like...
I consider myself a lesbian supremacist.
Shout out, witch!
Ex-Trumpa just gave to the cult of lesbian supremacy. Everyone will be cool or I'll get you less than 3 smile be kind.
Which, again, thank you, but you are a mod. You do not gifty me. But I appreciate it. Thank you. And it does look like the super chat goal is working. Okay. I'm not yelling at you. All right. So as I was saying, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, the most breathtaking thing about this to me is how she acts like she is discovering internalized misogyny specifically online, and that no one has been talking about it, and no one is doing anything to combat it. That to me, like the hubris that she has throughout this, the arrogance of her approach to this, it's so illogical that it made it hard at times to like come up with a reaction for it. But let's let Madison do her thing.
We need to talk about internet internalized misogyny. Social media has become sectioned off more and more. Call it an echo chamber, call it a cult with an influencer at the head proselytizing to their followers who evangelize their message. There are more and more social media takedowns, dog piles, and punching down than ever before. And opinions are becoming more and more partitioned with...
Okay, first of all, we need some context here if you don't know anything about Madison Harnish. She has 2 YouTube channels with massive followings, and both of them, the bulk of her content is criticizing women. So she is about to spend almost an hour scolding women for criticizing other women because that's internalized misogyny. But keep in mind that is literally the content that she is pumping out at all times. And she will excuse herself at every turn. Don't worry. So that would be the first thing I want to point out here. Let me just... Okay.
little left for nuance or forgiveness. Remember the saying, facts don't...
All right, hang on. Let me rewind that bit here. I'm going to try not to rewind too much because there's so much. But,
dog piles and punching down than ever before, and opinions are becoming more and more partitioned with little left for nuance or forgiveness.
Again, literally your entire channel. That's literally all of the content you do. Is social media takedowns, diving on dog piles that already exist, punching down, because you are a big creator, Madison. You punched down at me. So yeah, let's keep that in mind as we continue this.
Remember the saying, facts don't care about your feelings? Nowadays, it seems like opinions are being treated as facts, as small clips are being shared online, clipped to discern whatever. And
clipped to discern whatever. Real specific stuff there, Mad. Small clips being shared online? You mean like content crash out? Like Leftovers H3? Like your main sources throughout this video and all of your other videos? Yeah? Okay. Just checking. Just checking that that's what you're talking about. You're talking about your content. Sure.
opinions are being chosen as an objective truth.
That's my opinion!
I have to say already, like early on, one of my first comments that I made here is that I feel like that instructor at the University of Oklahoma reading that dumb Bible girl's paper. Like that is what it feels like reading this script. Clips are clipped to discern whatever. Work.
And social
Oh, hang on. Let me put this up to 1.25 so we're not totally suffering this whole time.
Media has picked apart men online for the role they've played. The incels, the manosphere, even the lonely gamers being a part of every negative and hateful corner on the internet.
What is going on with young men right now? And why does it feel scary?
Not as many people are looking
So scary.
to women as much when it comes to taking a part in online internet misogyny, takedown campaigns, and in general, online hate. And honestly,
That's not that's like objectively not true that no one is looking at women when it comes to online hate. Like the vast majority of snark like forums are made up of women, and everybody knows that. Oh, Sriracha.
Girl with a mic,
Thank
when is she calling
you.
in?
Thank you so much, Habanero. Ooh, people are going to get the tea tonight. All right, let's keep going, even as these blast in.
it's not because women don't deserve to be called out for the hate they cause online, the misogyny they take part of.
Well, I guess I have what you call a round face. And I wear my
Go
hair
gay,
the way you said I
everyone.
should.
Go gay, everyone.
But I don't see how things like that will make a girl more popular if she's not pretty to begin with.
I wish that I could wave a magic wand. Presto, like that. You will be prettier.
What?
You will be more popular.
If we want to have a more equal society,
Wait, hang on a second. So she says she's implying here, and it says in her script, I think she cut this, but maybe not. It's because of misogyny itself that the world is too focused on the problems men cause to look at the problems women may be causing. Is that because the problems men cause are like way fucking bigger, Madison?
See you at the after party.
But now you're saying it's misogynistic to focus on the problems that men are causing and not spend as much time on the internalized misogyny that's happening, and that's just centering men. No, it's because the ways in which
She
men
orbits no man.
subjugate women is systemic and has a real measurable impact on our well-being, our finances, our societal mobility, generally staying alive. It's not because of misogyny.
Lesbian tarantulas.
It's not misogyny saying, "Oh, men's cruelty is more important." It's because men's cruelty is more damaging. You fucking bing bong. All right, let's keep going. I have no idea why this clip is even in here.
She orbits no man.
Throughout this whole thing, there are clips and she never interacts with any of them. Like, they were all very clearly put in after she filmed. And a lot of them make no sense. And she never engages with any of them at all, or talks about why they're included, or breaks down what
Do we want to talk about the lesbian tarantulas?
or breaks down what is exactly internalized misogyny about the clips. So just be prepared for a lot of clips that make no sense.
You will be prettier. You will be more popular.
if we want to have a more equal society, it is equally as offensive to sit here and pretend that only male spaces take part in online hate.
It's not equally as
no man.
offensive. That's just simply not true. Like, you sound like a men's rights advocate right now. Saying like, "Oh, well, women are equally as bad." It's equally as offensive to sit here and pretend that only male spaces take part in online hate. Okay, also,
Do
no
we
one
wanna
is pretending
talk about the lesbian
And remain completely silent when-
tarantulas?
Literally, no one is pretending that. Let me turn down the alert boxes just a touch so we can keep rolling. But I'm so glad so many people are getting their membies. Shout out. Thank you for all the generosities. Okay.
when it comes to the online bullying and harassment in women's spaces.
Okay, this shit pisses me off. This shit really pisses me off. Exactly, habanero. Exactly. Hopefully it'll read that. I don't know why my thing is being weird about, I think it's just behind. But Habanero said, men are not all bad, but 95% of bad things happen that happen are caused by men. Yes. Not all men, right? But always men. Always men. All right. So then she includes this clip from some reality show of two women having a pretty stereotypical cat fight, right? Pulling hair, hitting each other. I don't know if this is Bad Girls Club or something else. But I don't understand why she put this in here. Oh, this is definitely Real Housewives, right? Multiple clips of different women getting in fistfights. What exactly is the implication here? Like, you're literally doing misogynist men's work for them by depicting internalized misogyny as catfights and acting like this is something we need to talk about, or like this is what you want to talk about at all. Meanwhile, the reason that it's like she's so close to the point. The reason this shit is even on TV is not about internalized misogyny of women fighting each other. It's about the male gaze and the patriarchy's desire to pit women against each other for sport. It really looks like here you're blaming these women and you're blaming their internalized misogyny for them acting like animals with each other. And it is reminding me a little bit of how white people will blame black on black crime as a reason why we can't talk about police brutality or, why structurally it's harder for black people and people of color to like move up in the world. Like, oh, well, they're just holding themselves down. Like that's what these clips are implying to me. And so if that is not what your implication is, if this is just like clickbait or something, it's a really weird choice. It's a very weird choice here.
Yet for the most part, conversations surrounding
like did a man put those clips in? Did a man recommend those clips?
Online hate and internet misogyny have stopped completely at the focus of men. And I would argue this has caused the problem of internalized misogyny within women's online spaces to get worse and worse.
For the most part, conversations surrounding online hate and internet misogyny have stopped completely at the focus of men. First of all, there is and has been for years, Madison, a ton of discourse about women's social interactions with each other and specifically online. Like, you do not know what the fuck you're talking about. If you think women are ever the least discussed people on the internet, go look at your own channels again. Like, people never stop talking about and dissecting the way women are interacting with each other. Guante be with you and also with you. Right?
That's right, Rachel Good 1650 just bought Kate new guantes. Men are not all bad.
There's habanero.
But 95% of bad things that happen are caused by men.
Period. So yeah, like this is just the beginning of like the hubris of, guys, I just discovered this problem that no one's talking about. It's like, you think no one's talking about it because you actually know nothing about it. Like it's very much Dunning-Kruger effect in live and living color.
Largely because internalized misogyny is still greatly misunderstood. And so
greatly misunderstood by you. By you. It's greatly misunderstood by you. Just because you just woke up and learned about misogyny doesn't mean that it is something that is greatly misunderstood or underreported. If you had done more than like an hour of research or an hour of outsourcing your research to someone else, you could have found a lot more studies and a lot fewer TikTok clips than the paltry set you have in your sources. Like, women and feminist scholars have been talking about internalized misogyny for generations. So this is like the hubris, the arrogance, the self-centeredness that I feel like Quam brings to All of her videos, where she assumes just because she is just learning about something that the whole world is just learning about it. And that's very classic white woman. Nothing exists until she wakes up, right? But yeah, I can't imagine turning on my camera and making this video as her, like knowing that I don't know a lot and getting on here and trying to act like the expert. It's one thing to do about celebrities, but like these are topics that need like deep research. It's like nuanced sociological behavioral stuff that we're talking about here. Oy vey. Okay.
So it's become a weapon of self-destruction in the modern digital age.
Said, what's so special about me? Most women aren't special.
Well, that's down to your personal opinion.
No, I'm like, seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special?
Nothing.
Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
Look at this feminism right here. Holy they talk.
Should have just made it about these people. All right, hang on one sec. I gotta go fill my water. I forgot to do that before we started. BRB! Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's keep going. All right, here are these idiots. I will give you up front, spoiler alert, she does not say anything to help quell the issue at all. Oh shit, you can't hear or see. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, let me rewind it. Sorry.
Of internalized misogyny, women.
We want to hear her, not you.
Okay, so.
Are we Gucci? Sorry, I only have one screen right now. So that is the issue. Okay, there we go. Okay. And action.
Let's talk about how, through various methods of internalized misogyny, women are eating themselves alive online, and how this has persisted for a very long time but has exacerbated recently, and what we can do to help the issue.
Okay, why are we frozen now?
Internalized misogyny refers to women's use of sexism directed towards other women or themselves, even in the absence of men. It's a form of oppression that twists the minds of the women being targeted by it, making them feel the same way about themselves as their oppressors do. Researcher Chesler argues that
I was going to say, she does not help give examples for helping quell the issue at all.
Understand how internalized misogyny functions, it's important to admit that women are not less sexist than men, and to not idealize them, but rather accept them as human beings who are capable of both compassion and cruelty, cooperation and competition.
2001. Like, this is just like the most basic shit. And maybe her audience needs this, right? Like, maybe the younger audience needs this, but for me, it was just very boring. It was very, very, very basic, like feminism 101 stuff. But I don't want to, there is an audience for this, but it's just not me.
Selfishness and altruism. This acknowledgement is essential in addressing the complexities of internalized misogyny and dismantling its pervasive influence. Online, this is manifested as women policing other women for their online behaviors, either to keep them in line, bash them entirely, or to dogpile if their behavior is deemed unacceptable.
Everybody drink. She said deemed. There are 6 of them, so look out for the deems. Play a little drinking game.
I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco. That relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
While there are always valid...
Again, just puts these clips in and does not engage with them at all. Just drops this clip in and doesn't engage with it at all, breaking down what is the internalized misogyny in it.
Reasons to critique anyone of any gender online. I mean, obviously, where is the line exactly? I think we should start asking ourselves this question, as well as who is judging what is acceptable or unacceptable behavior? Who is making those rules? And
it's men. Who could be making the rules? I wonder who it could be. It's men, Madison. It's men. There is not enough talk in here about how even men are the ones that have created the internalized misogyny.
And are we policing people's behaviors online according to patriarchal standards?
Dear women, shut the fuck up and get back in the kitchen.
Maybe we could even talk about how social media itself is structured to prop up this behavior. How even before the founding of Facebook was its precursor called Face Mash, created by Mark Zuckerberg in 2003 to rate the attractiveness of female Harvard students.
Okay, this is just regular misogyny, girl. And also, that's not why it was... Facebook was created so Mark could stalk a girl he liked, but go off.
But certainly that hasn't trickled over into the culture of social media.
All right, why is my
And of
shit
course, women are nowhere...
freezing? This has been happening all day, and I'm very annoyed about it. Catch up, girl. But also, like, the condescension in her face is driving me fucking nuts. I can't talk about exacerbated. I'll just exacerbate the situation if I do. You saw my eye roll when she said it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. Let me just minimize this. Maybe that'll help.
We're the ones to blame for all of this. But what happens when we exist in the online culture that perpetuates this every day? What happens when we enable it? Everyone ultimately will have their own standards for what is legitimate criticism and what crosses the line into unacceptable or too harsh. For me personally, criticism surrounding racism and criticism surrounding the exploitation of others are always valid reasons to criticize. Hateful, vindictive behavior is also always a valid reason to criticize someone. But to judge someone's intent is where things get dicey. Because
hateful, vindictive behavior is always a valid reason to criticize someone, unless they are snarkers, right? Unless they participate in your favorite place on the internet. Then they are not, it's not valid to criticize them. Sure, girl.
Because your own biases can easily get in the way, especially if you're dealing with internalized misogyny or any other sort of bias. You can easily characterize someone in a negative way when the reality may be very different.
That's literally your entire Ethan Klein video, queen. Like, that entire video was such a masterclass in confirmation bias and you just finding stuff that confirmed how you already felt about Ethan. Because almost all of your sources were from a hate subreddit. I don't think we should call it a snark subreddit anymore. It's a hate subreddit. It is a hate community. So for you to act like other people's biases are getting in the way with no self-reflection at all, I can't say I'm surprised. This next sentence is absolutely fucking rich.
Personally speaking, I don't think it's ever okay to nitpick someone's behavior, to criticize someone.
Why was your leg up on the desk? I think that outfit is interesting. Like, she was absolutely critiquing everybody's behavior. Or nitpicking it, rather, right? Absolutely rich coming from her.
For the way they speak, for things they can't change about themselves or their appearance. That's overall not okay.
I think that you should dress more feminine, you know, because like... Excuse me? I'm saying that you should...
Okay, now these clips she drops are just regular misogyny. Like, the entire thing is so confused and disorganized, and again, the clips mostly don't make any fucking sense.
Dress more feminine, because like right now, because like, as a guy, it's not pleasing for the eye. You know?
I talk to girls, even if they're like extremely beautiful, they just piss me off.
I'm also of the personal belief that gossip and drama shouldn't be villainized or demonized, and that it's sexist to do so.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that I was being internally misogynistic when I criticized your attack videos of dozens of women earlier in this conversation. I'm so sorry that I criticized your gossip and drama videos. I guess that I'm sexist now too.
I and many women and people online have made many valid videos online criticizing people for many valid things. And I don't want this video to be an opportunity to accuse any woman making a critical video of being misogynistic. This video simply...
And why is that? It's because that's all you do. She cut out a piece where she says, this video isn't being made to shame anyone for anything like that, as that would be incredibly hypocritical of me. I feel like she should have left that in. She should have left in that comment because she's right. It is incredibly hypocritical of you to be doing this.
It has the intention to discuss a larger pattern I've been seeing that goes beyond gossip and drama into blatant vindictive behaviors that have escalated so far that they should be noticed and addressed.
Escalating to the point of like CPS being called? Escalating to the point of ICE being called? The FBI, the IRS? Escalating to the point where you are calling people pedophiles? Is that the kind of blatant vindictive behavior that should be noticed and addressed? Especially when it's directed at women by women? She's so close to the point.
There's an online study with a quote that reads, "The women propagating hate against other women are especially interesting. Why do they contribute to the harsh judgment of their peers? Why do they conform and how?" These cases of female misogyny in women show that part of the oppression of women put in place by patriarchy actually resides in mechanisms of internalized oppression.
Like, this is just such basic shit. Very, very old studies. Well, this one isn't, but that's good. 2024, it says. But this is about the pick-me shit. She gets into the pick-me stuff, and it just doesn't even fucking make any sense. But we'll keep going.
The pick-me girl phenomenon is a good example of that. Yet the girl who makes fun of her also is. Hating on women has become a valuable type of content that is guaranteed to provoke reactions, likes, and shares. First, let's talk about the pick-me.
Signs of a pick-me girl.
I really sounded like a pick-me just then. 3 pick-me's that you'll run into at some point in your life.
I think maybe I am a pick-me girl.
Let's talk about 8 signs that you're a pick-me.
According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, pick-me is a slang term for a person, usually a young woman, seen as behaving in a contemptible way for attention and approval, usually from male peers. It is most often used in the expression pick-me girl, which disparages a young woman who's seen as faking interest in stereotypically male activities or conforming to traditional values at the expense of other young women. It is also used in pick-me boy, referring to a young man.
Literally no one says pick-me boy.
Who feigns emotional vulnerability to win the attention of...
They would say performative male, right?
women. More generally, pick-me can refer to anyone thought to be trying too hard to earn acceptance.
Why are you? She essentially called me a pick-me. When she was like, oh, you're doing all this, but Ethan didn't even send you any Teddy Glow, did he? Except, yes, they fucking did.
Walking like that.
Like what?
Like with your butt sticking out.
If you don't have a big butt, just say that. I swear, like, bitches are so jealous.
Let's be so for real. These men don't stand a chance in dating because women turn everything into a red flag. He breathed the wrong way, red flag. He's existing. Red flag.
I don't know about you, but to me, the idea of pick-me being the worst type of woman out there, the more I think about it, has started to feel icky. Because
did it start feeling icky before or after you implied that I was a pick-me? Would be my follow-up question for Madison. At what point did shitting on pick-me's, in your opinion, start feeling icky? By the way, she uses that term later unironically.
oftentimes someone who's called a pick-me is really someone who's kind of isolated, who has wrong ideas about how to get attention and misrepresents their interests.
My natural instinct is like to impress a man or to I want to.
Now this conversation between Tana and Brooke is actually very interesting, and she could have built a lot of this video around this. If she wanted to make a pick-me video or whatever, this could have been a piece of it, but she doesn't. She just plays it and then has no comments on it.
I want to say things I want to say things that I know that they're going to relate to and stuff like that, because that's kind of I wonder about that.
Such a massive pick me until 18 or I just got humbled crazy by the internet, and I think that saved me from that. But
I'm gonna fucking slap someone. I am on my brand new computer.
I was such a fucking pick me,
and it is doing this. This is so annoying. Let me read some chat while I'm here, while things are working themselves out. What the fuck is running that is taking up so much room that it's killing my computer right now? We have so much to talk about. We can't keep doing this. Did everything freeze? Maybe it's just freezing for me and you guys are seeing everything perfectly.
My natural instinct is to impress a man or to I want to say things I want to say things that I know that they're going to relate to and stuff like that, because that's kind of I wonder about that.
Such a massive pick me.
Oh wait, someone mentioned something about the study. That's not even a study. It's a German BA student submitted work. Most of the studies of some of the more recent studies she picks out, it's undergraduate research that's been presented at a conference. That's not even peer reviewed. I'm in Chrome. Should I switch to another one? I'm going to switch to another browser, guys. Give me 1 second. It's just a habit. It's a fucking habit, okay? And then we're going to be smooth sailing. Okay. Oh, good. I'm already logged in here. That's wonderful. Okay, we're going to go web, and we're going to go... All right, cool.
Pick-me is really someone who's kind of isolated, who has wrong ideas about how to get attention.
Blah, blah, blah.
Not rich by necessarily cruel or abusive towards other women. They can be in the process of getting picked, but that isn't a defining quality of a pick-me. There has been the mean girl trope. In the media, the mean girl trope has been portrayed as the conventionally pretty bully in school.
What's the first early memories you have of being bullied?
In elementary school,
Yeah.
we went to a private parochial school. It was a Catholic school, and there were rich people that went there. And I was not rich by any stretch of the imagination. So it was a uniform school, thank goodness. So we didn't have to compete with clothing, but we did compete with things like shoes, jewelry, your backpack and how expensive it looked and stuff. And all my stuff came from Kmart. We shopped at Kmart.
Girl, you just hit me in the soul with that Kmart. The blue light special.
The blue light special.
Cyberbullying isn't spoken about as much. Remember back in the day when there was huge campaigns, especially in schools.
Cyberbullying isn't spoken about as much. All right, let her finish this thought, because this is fucking insane.
To stop cyberbullying. Yet it feels that lately those have ceased to exist.
Maybe that's just because I'm not in school anymore. It feels like they've just ceased. These cyberbullying seminars have just ceased to exist. Maybe it's because I am not in school anymore to actually see them. Do you think schools are not talking about cyberbullying anymore? Stop. I think one of Madison's main problems is she acts like her experiences are universal. if she is not seeing these cyberbullying seminars anymore, which were they doing them? Like, was your mom running them in homeschool? With peace and love? Like, when were you seeing these cyberbullying seminars? But, like, if you stop acting like everything that happens to you is the only thing happening to everyone, you might actually learn something. She keeps doing that throughout where she's like, if I don't hear about it, I guess it's not real. Cyberbullying isn't spoken about as much.
Yet mass hate campaigns and online pile-ons are still occurring. And the unspoken
you contribute to them. And you contribute to them and profit off of them, Madison. You contribute to and profit off of these hate campaigns. And you know that. You fucking know that. There's a reason your videos are popular, and it's because people fucking hate those people. Sorry, guys. And yes, this browser is working much better. I'm just such a slut for Google Chrome, you know?
Aspect of it is that the mean girls still exist, are still involved in online bullying, and they've normalized their own behavior to such an extent that they can't see its toxicity and internalized misogyny. They're still looking to the Regina George stereotype from the media instead of maybe looking in the mirror. On the other—
Oh, girl, I wish you would look in the mirror for 2 fucking seconds. Like, criticizing other women for not having any sort of self-reflection, and then you make a video like this when in the last most popular video you made, you literally were calling a woman a pedophile because of the outfits she was wearing that were not childish at all. But other people need to look in the mirror.
On the other hand, for a period of time, there was the girls instead of maybe looking in the mirror. On the other hand, for a period of time, there was the girl's girl, a statement meant to represent a girl who was essentially the opposite of a I keep booping the mic. A statement meant to represent a girl who is essentially the opposite of a pick-me and all about supporting other women.
I find that the majority—
First of all, for a period of time, there was the girl's girl. That is still a very popular term.
of women who use the term girl's girl, first of all, are infantilizing themselves. I am a grown-ass woman. The term girl's girl, now I am seeing being simply used as a weapon to say, I don't like what you're doing, and therefore you are an enemy of us.
The girl's girl was quickly used as a weapon.
Based on that one TikTok? What are you basing that on? What are you basing this on?
Aren't doing something deemed girl's girl enough.
Deemed everybody drink.
Then, well, you're bad. You need to be girl's girl.
I think I forget that not every girl.
So no, it's bad to support other women. Like, she's the one that's just going like point by point. And instead of saying, look at all these archetypes that the patriarchy have created, right? The girl's girl, the girl boss, which she'll talk about. Instead of like talking about all of those, she's now like criticizing women for participating in it. It's fucking insane.
Is a girl's girl because I'm definitely a girl's girl. All my friends are girls. And so it's weird to me when I meet a girl that's not. I saw this girl today and she was wearing this killer outfit. She had her pants tucked into the...
Spoiler alert, this clip makes no sense and should not be included.
Coolest rhinestone cowboy boots. I went up to her and I was like, girl, your fit is fitting. You look amazing. I've been looking for boots just like that. Where did you get them? She's like, yeah, see, the thing about these boots, can't really say. And I was like, you can't really say what?
But it seems that everyone
doesn't show the entire video and then doesn't address it.
Different definitions of what defines a girl's girl. Again, policing other women on their behavior so they fall in line. Eventually, the term girl...
You are policing women right now. By acting like being a girl's girl is some sort of an attack.
Again, policing other women on their behavior so they fall in line. Eventually, the term girl's girl dropped off from being used so frequently.
Bitch, where? Where did girl's girl drop off?
Just like the term girl boss, which was once used positively, but every time there's a positive term for women, it always seems like it ends up getting weaponized as a way to police women, keep you in check. And the thing is, it's by other women. Are you girl boss enough? Are you a girl's girl? I fear our priorities might be a little bit skewed.
Put a pin in the girl boss thing, because she's talking about how girl boss started out as positive and then became a negative. She is about to shit on girl bossing really hard, and not on the men who have created the systems that make girl bossing kind of essential. She shits on women for thinking that they can girl boss their way out of capitalism. So she's literally going to do what she's saying here. And that is definitely the most infuriating piece of this whole video.
What are you wearing? And is it acceptable in today's society? Is it a clean girl aesthetic, or is it pick me? What is your identity, and how does it assimilate into girl culture and our patriarchal system? If you're too bold, brash, or stepping out of line, there are systems in place to put you back in line. It might hurt to hear it, but deep in your core, you know intuitively that we've developed systems to police one another, mostly because the women in our lives, our mothers and grandmothers, have done the same thing to us our entire lives. As we were growing up, forming our own identity, if we were too much, we were often told so, swiftly and, well, aggressively, to keep us in line.
Okay. That is the end part of that was absolutely true. And I really hope that she's having some sort of genuine consciousness raising about feminism and misogyny. This is just like gender studies 101. Like, this is just so basic to me. And so maybe her following needs that. But there also seems to be an agenda buried in this, in my opinion.
That's right.
Where she wants people to think twice about criticizing her. Because criticizing her means you are, you have not rooted out your own internalized misogyny. She's allowed to criticize women. But if women criticize her, well, they should really do more investigating of their own internalized oppression.
Another manifestation of internalized misogyny can be observed in the paradoxical tendency for women to exhibit greater distrust towards other women than men. This phenomenon can be attributed to the historical dismissal of women's grievances and concerns as being delusional, confusing, and dishonest.
First of all, shout out Rebecca Solnit. Great author to read if you're getting into feminism. I need to call out right now, because she says the distrust toward other women, a greater distrust toward other women than men. For the vast majority of this video, she makes no attempt even to distinguish between cis hetero women and queer women and trans women. So, and neither do her sources for the most part. Because when I read this, that women exhibit greater distrust towards other women than men, I was like, ain't no woman in my lesbian community, in my queer communities, who is trusting men more than women. So I think that should be called out, right? Like she's making some very broad generalizations about cis hetero women. And honestly, probably cis hetero white women, if we're being real.
Studies have also shown that there's a greater tendency for aggression towards women who violate societal norms, such as feminists, career women, or sexually explicit women. Because
what is a sexually explicit woman? Also, queer women, trans women, like, again, she's just like, she has this huge blind spot. And honestly, I'm glad, because I do not want her dipping her toe into talking about that shit, because I think my head would explode. I would be so mad if she did not handle that well, which she wouldn't. Okay, now we're going to get into the part where she tries to make it seem like two things that happened to her in middle school were related to internalized misogyny, but they aren't. So here we go.
Because they're perceived as more threatening to patriarchal society and its established roles and norms. I remember growing up, I loved anime, particularly Sailor Moon. I wanted to dress very strangely for the time, even wearing multiple outfits in a day. And I drew different anime characters all over my homework and school papers when I was bored. And I remember often getting judged and even getting in trouble for this. I felt really embarrassed about it.
What does that have to do with misogyny? Like she's confusing like general bullying with misogyny?
She's the center of her own solar system, bro.
At Alexandra AHF Duty says, it concerns me that her only anecdotes from the real world are from middle school.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Isn't that so weird?
Kind of shamed about it. In elementary school,
Guys, this is the fart story. I don't know if I was not expecting this. I didn't know it was coming, and I could not believe that she put this in the video.
I also remember a girl who was really shy who ended up farting in the middle of class, and the whole class laughed at her and teased her about it. And without
in elementary school, a totally normal thing for stupid kids to do.
Thinking about it, I blurted out, "It's natural," because I could see how mortified she was at the time. Obviously, instead of people going, you know, you kind of have a point there, the whole class turned their attention to me and laughed at my statement. And for the next few weeks, a few people would look at me and mock my statement and say, "It's natural," in a joking tone. And objectively, farts are funny, a humor fit for all ages.
Okay, but you're not over that. You're clearly not over that. How sexist of them to laugh at a fart in 3rd grade, or to make fun of somebody who said it's natural. Like, it's just kids being stupid. This woman has never been discriminated against in her fucking life. In general, there is no one more protected by our society, by the patriarchy, the cishet white male patriarchy. No one is more protected than people who look like her. Cishet white women. She is in such a fucking bubble and she doesn't even know it. If her only story from growing up related to internalized misogyny was kids making fun of her for a couple weeks for standing up for a girl, what are we talking about? Why are you putting this poor girl on blast that farted just to make a point that does not belong in this video? Try being overweight in elementary school. Try being overweight in middle school, high school. Like, girl. There is tons of internalized misogyny going on in schools. And maybe she didn't have a lot of friends. Like, I don't know. But it seems like, just from that, like, interaction, it seems like she maybe was kind of an outsider, right? And no shade to that. That's a horrible feeling to have. But this is not internalized misogyny. This isn't even any kind of misogyny. This is just kids being fucking stupid.
While a lot of bully behavior has names...
Oh, wait, hang on. She cut this bit out right after that. So she said, objectively, farts are funny, a humor fit for all ages. Hard cut. This is what she left out. But I would say this is where I started to notice when I would try to speak out in public, the intense scrutiny I could potentially receive for doing so, and became very self-conscious and anxious around speaking up and using my voice. That makes sense. I feel like she should have left this in. But how could we gotta tie these sections back to the thesis, Madison? Like, if I was reviewing your paper as your composition teacher, like, how does this relate to internalized misogyny? Wrap up the paragraph with that. And if you can't, cut the fucking paragraph.
It hasn't necessarily been applied to this sort of online internalized misogyny behavior. Outside of incel culture and the manosphere, people also use...
While a lot of bully behavior has names, it hasn't necessarily been applied to women, especially women online. Yeah, it has. It's called snark, Madison. It's called snark. I would say stan culture and snark culture are mostly fueled by women and girls. It's snark. That's the name for it. That's the word you're looking for, girly pop.
Use the label cancel culture nowadays, but I would argue what I'm talking about specifically is both within and outside of that particular label. There's also the pick me, which again is kind of both within and outside of this label. What if
She keeps coming back to the pick me thing, and she's like not hitting. It's just not hitting. I don't know what she's trying to say about the pick me thing, but she's really focused on it. I don't know if she was called that by somebody or what, but she keeps coming back to it, and she's not making a salient point, in my opinion.
There's a more sinister form of internalized misogyny than the pick me that no one is talking about. One that isn't about setting yourself apart from other women so that you're picked or chosen, or even being seen as the best girl's girl or girl boss. Because it's not about being picked at all or rising to the top, but instead bringing everyone else down to your level.
What if that existed? What if that existed and no one is talking about it? I wonder what that could be.
Attacking, lashing out. Hostile sexism encompasses various manifestations, including the utilization of aggressive language, sexist slurs, passive-aggressive conduct, victim blaming, and denial.
So literally exactly what your snark friends have been doing and continue to do to Hila and Olivia and Lena every single day. Oh, and they're also doing it to me now. One of Adam McIntyre's fans called me a fat dyke on Twitter the other day. And I constantly have snarkers telling me how fat and ugly I am and how I just want to fuck Ethan or he wants to fuck me or whatever it is. So it's right there, girl. Again, it exists. It has a name. The name isn't hostile sexism. If you're looking for internalized misogyny, like internalized hateful or hostile sexism, it's snark. You're so close to the point. You're so close to the point.
This type of behavior finds a receptive environment within women who have internalized misogynistic beliefs and values that are deeply ingrained due to societal and cultural influences.
That's so interesting.
We go on our own, it's chaos. We become whores.
Now, this is the thing. I mean, using Pearl, either make the video about girls like Pearl and other like insane Republican misogynist women, or if you want to make it more broad, don't use them because you're lumping them in with a lot of more like casual internalized misogyny. And this just, I don't know, if you're not going to like focus this on Pearl, I feel like it's a distraction. But maybe I'm wrong. But in general, so far as you can tell, this is kind of all over the place and there isn't really a focus. So Pearl could be a focus. That might be something to focus on because there's plenty of evidence, right, that you could build off of using her clips. But I would recommend doing something a little more nuanced and talking about snark subreddits because that's where the real evil shit lives.
Right, 90% of us have been on birth control. The average body count is between 5 and 8, and all the men say we're lying, so we probably are. And
girl, you haven't fucked anybody.
There's many instances where women have brought up allegations of abuse and harassment and were blamed for it. The focus shifted onto them and their actions. The narrative that they had equal blame in what took place. The concept of mutual abuse has largely been debunked by advocates. And what most people think is mutual...
This is interesting. Listen to what she says about mutual abuse.
Mutual abuse has largely been debunked by advocates. And what most people think is mutual abuse is usually reactive abuse where one person is provoking another over and over and over again, trying to get a reaction out of them so they're able to darvo them or point the finger at them and say they're taking equal part in the abuse.
Now, where have we seen that behavior before? Where have we seen one person provoking another over and over again, try to get a reaction out of them so they are able to point the finger at them and say they are taking equal part in the abuse? She's like standing on the point. And she's still not fucking getting it.
Some modern instances I could bring up, and even then I'm nervous what the general reaction would be.
Madison, I am begging you to bring up a modern instance. I am begging you to ground this video in literally anything. You are just like out in space, fucking throwing spaghetti around. I am begging you to be specific. When you write a paper, when you write a story, when you write a poem, when you write anything, specificity is key. Be specific. Engage with the examples you put in here. Don't just throw them in here to show that you've done some sort of research. You need to actually engage with the content that you have sourced. Otherwise, it's just a fucking mess, and that's what this video is.
How many people would debate me in the comments over whether or not the woman in question deserved the level of public backlash she received?
Do you just expect everything you put out to get positive results? That everyone in your comments is just going to be like positively responding to it? Like, to be worried that there's going to be a debate in your comment section if you dare to make this a little more specific,
Wante be with you.
Seems so strange.
That's right, Rachel Good 1650 just bought Kate new Wanda's.
Thank you, Habanero.
My PS5 got fried during the PNW flooding.
Oh no.
They said it couldn't be fixed. WTF. Why did I buy insurance? I went cray-cray and bought another one.
Okay, good. I'm glad you got another one. I was like, don't be gifting me. Get yourself a new PS5, brother. That's awful, but I'm glad you're enjoying Arc Raiders. But like that, I don't understand this. Like, why do you give a shit if people are arguing in your comments section? That's engagement. That's fucking juicing, baby. And if you've curated an intelligent audience, it'll be a healthy debate. Like, are you reading all your comments and like getting really upset by it? You're way too audience captured. You know you don't have to read the comments, right? You know you don't have to.
Or has equal blame because she's unlikable. I think when talking about victim blaming and how public smear campaigns take place, it's important to discuss the Me Too movement. What kickstarted the Me Too movement was, infamously, the New York Times launching a story about Harvey Weinstein's long history of sexual assault and harassment.
Okay, well, the Me Too movement, did that skip? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, she skipped a bunch of shit here. Where does she skip to the Me Too shit? The YouTube shit. Okay, anyway, we'll just keep it going.
During awards season, Harvey Weinstein's power is on full display.
I just want to thank my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein.
His films, including The King's Speech.
Also, she said here that the Me Too movement was kickstarted by the Harvey Weinstein stuff. Tarana Burke started the Me Too movement in 2006. She references that later. So at least there's that. At least she's not erasing the black woman who actually started the Me Too movement. So I'm glad for that.
Pulp Fiction and Shakespeare in Love, winning 75 Oscars.
Girl, we did not need a whole fucking rundown about Me Too in the middle of this.
She must have slept her way to the top. If a woman received praise and accolades, she must have done something sexual or debased herself in some way to get it. If a woman was brought down or victimized, the immediate question was, what did she do to deserve it? Yet the shock surrounding the Harvey Weinstein story opened a dialogue for many women to come forward with their story.
Again, this is all just misogyny. She does get to the internalized misogyny of women victim blaming later about the Me Too movement, but all of this could be cut. All of this could be cut, girl.
The now infamous Shady Media Men list, begun by journalist Maura Donegan, turned the Whisper Network into a spreadsheet where women could add layers to each report. The common denominator has been
like, and there, how in the beginning of the video, she's like, I think it's sexist to demonize gossip. that is a good point that you didn't back up. This is something you could have backed it up with. That gossip, aka whisper networks, are how women keep each other safe. And that's why men don't like it, and why men demean it, right? And delegitimize it. But of course, she doesn't fucking know anything. Like, I could fucking rewrite this and it would be so much better.
As sociology professor Christy Thornton noted, in our culture, part of what it means to be a powerful man is to have unfettered access to women's bodies, or the bodies of others who are less powerful. Transgender and queer people and people of color are especially vulnerable to such violence.
Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you finally mentioned the intersectional aspects of misogyny. But don't go too hard on it because I think your brain will fucking break. Okay.
Looking back now, it's hard to remember a time when majority of women experienced sexual violence in their life, yet it wasn't an openly discussed thing.
Are you fucking high, Madison? Let's listen to that again.
Violence. Looking back now, it's hard to remember a time when majority of women experienced sexual violence in their life, yet it wasn't an openly discussed thing.
Hey guys, I was not aware that women discussing their like sexual violence is something we're all openly talking about in our normal lives. Looking back, literally, she acts like it was ages ago. Looking back now, it's hard to remember a time when the majority of women experienced sexual violence in their life, yet it wasn't an openly discussed thing because women weren't believed. Like, girl, women are not believed today. This is literally still a thing. It is not an openly discussed thing. Just because a bunch of people in Hollywood have been believed doesn't change the way how women are treated in like the real world when it comes to sexual violence. Acting like women everywhere are feeling like they can just be open about the assaults and harassment that have happened to them is fucking insane. There is still punishment and detractors at every step. It's hard to remember a time before now when we were just perfect on how to handle sexual violence. What are you fucking talking about?
Because women weren't believed. But Me Too existed for years before the Harvey Weinstein story came to light. If you could believe it.
Hey, if you could believe it, yeah, those of us who've actually been fucking reading about this stuff and active in feminism can believe it. We can believe that people have been working in making it easier for sexual violence survivors to exist. That is believable to us. If you can believe it, a black woman actually started it.
Did for years before the Harvey Weinstein story came to light, if you could believe it. Tarana Burke has worked for decades with young women of color who survived sexual violence, and in 2006 she named her campaign Me Too as an expression of solidarity.
She started it in middle schools and high schools, was specifically for children who had experienced sexual violence in their homes and also in their like intimate relationships and with friends and things like that. But it was very much focused on like intrafamilial sexual violence. Also, just like from an editor's perspective, why is the Tarana Burke piece not where you talked about Harvey Weinstein? Like, why are we, like, the flow, girl, the flow is off.
There were people who had been doing the work for years, yet it took something major, something public and mainstream for women's stories to finally be believed.
It took white women like you talking about it. She doesn't address that. She doesn't address the fact that Tarana Burke was specifically working with young boys and girls of color. She doesn't address that.
When you go through something as traumatic as sexual violence, there's a way that you close up.
Who were we supposed to tell? Were we supposed to call some fantasy attorney general of moviedom?
And we're conditioned since birth, before our feet hit the ground, to be polite.
Yet still, some critics of the Me Too movement were women themselves.
Yeah, girl, you should have just cut to this. Cut to the internalized misogyny.
Speaking out against the danger of women coming forward. In fact, 100 prominent French women signed a letter calling the Me Too movement a witch hunt against men. You know, a witch hunt being a historically prominent thing that targeted women. Though in the German lands, when the Great Witch Panics happened, men, women, and children.
She just like took a Reddit comment about this in the German lands. She doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about.
Were caught up in the panic, to be fair.
Yeah, men died in the US too, or in the New World as well. In the witch hunts. Shout out Giles Corey. Maybe you should watch my video that I did about the witch hunts and you might learn a little something. Might learn a little something or two.
Most reprehensible was when French radio host and former porn star Brigitte Lahaye said that some women enjoy being raped. Recently, we've been
hearing... Yeah, French people are insane. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, that was terrible. But this is what should be the focus, right? This is the focus that you're looking for.
Hearing a lot about purity testing on the left. But years ago, during the Me Too movement, before Diddy, before Jeffrey Epstein, this was also something people were complaining about regarding Me Too, being essentially a way to purity test. French actress...
Now, okay. Now I'm gonna have to do a little vocabulary lesson here.
Me Too, being essentially a way to purity test. French actress Catherine Deneuve.
Catherine Deneuve.
Sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, signed a letter warning against Puritanism associated with the Me Too movement. There was even a New York Times article written about her statements against the movement. Women speaking out about the sexual violence and sexual assault they were experiencing was Puritanism. Catherine ended...
Madison. Puritanism is not the same thing as purity testing. No one is talking about purity testing in the Me Too movement. Puritanism,
girl with a mic, when is she calling in?
Is related to the religion of the Puritan religion. And it's used today to talk about like a sexually restrictive, repressive ideology or point of view. It is not about purity testing. Purity testing is what your friends do. It's specifically about measuring how closely someone adheres to any ideology. Maybe it is Puritanism, but it could be leftism. It could be tankyism. It could be, conservatism, whatever it is. That's purity testing. It's not connected to sexual purity.
Always hotter than Nick. That's right.
So you've fucked that up. That's not right. And purity testing has nothing to do with what was going on with the Me Too movement. What Catherine Deneuve was talking about, and she's fucking wrong, is that this was kind of, the Me Too movement was like prudifying the film industry.
Up apologizing.
And she apologized for it. So why the fuck are you talking about it?
For these statements after receiving backlash, saying, I fraternally salute all the women victims of odious acts who may have felt aggrieved by the letter in Le Monde. It is to them and them alone that I offer my apology. Meanwhile, another, also French, famous actress, Brigitte Bardot, spoke against the movement, saying to the French magazine Paris Match, the vast majority are being hypocritical and ridiculous. In the past, Brigitte Bardot has been fined for provoking discrimination and racial hatred against the Muslim community in France. Yeah, I think it's most...
Yeah, Brigitte Bardot sucks. Like, correct. And all of these people that were... all of these women that were coming out and shitting on the women that were coming forward are... That is the clearest example of internalized misogyny that you have shown outside of Pearl, right? Like, there are pieces of this that would be great. But there is so much junk in here that doesn't make any sense and that sort of obscures your actual message. Although I am not entirely sure you know what your message is. Because there really isn't, by the end of this, any kind of like call to action. Okay, here's where she starts shitting on girl bosses, right? Earlier she was saying like, wow, it's terrible that girl bosses and pick me girls and everyone like that everyone just starts treating them negatively and treating the terms negatively. Here we go, guys. This is when she gets so fucking arrogant. I found it hard to even have comments. I was just fucking stunned.
Disappointing when other women who are in power punch down instead of standing alongside victims. This is also why girl boss feminism is, well, a lie. A cute word to put on a mug that effectively does nothing.
This is such a fucking leftist talking point. And we'll get more into that, but yeah.
We've seen time and time again that when a woman, particularly a white woman, rises to power to try and survive in the systems in place, she will perpetuate harm instead of actively oppose it for her own self-betterment at the cost of others. Continuing.
Give us some examples of that.
Cycles of harm. This is why I loved the quote in my Secret Lives of Mormon Wives video that said something along the lines of, modern white feminism has become white women aspiring to be like their rich white fathers. For example, the Time's Up page associated with the Me Too movement links to leanin.org as a trusted partner organization. Leanin.org.
So now we're mad at Time's Up?
Always harder than Nick.
So now you're saying the Me Too movement is shit because it's connected to Lean In?
Describes itself as an organization to help women achieve their ambitions and work to create an equal world.
Wow,
sounds great, right?
Yeah,
the organization was inspired by Facebook executive Sheryl Sandberg, who wrote the book Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. The system doesn't need to change. Women, it's your fault. You aren't leaning in hard enough, working hard enough. You don't have enough will to lead.
Okay. I have more to say, but we're gonna let her cook for a second. I think this is a very uncharitable reading of interpretation of what Lean In is about and what it has offered to women. It's definitely not a perfect solution. And here we see Madison purity testing, right? If you're not tearing everything down, then you are just as bad as your white male forefathers.
Of course, it's great that the organization is focused on equality in the workplace, and I don't want to discount their work overall, but...
And you are. And you literally are. That's literally what you're about to do. You are about to shit on Lean In really, really hard. And I will say, Lean In is not perfect, right? And it's a very, like, Gen X creation. But the way you go harder on Lean In, something that was created to help women, than like anything else in this video, which is very, very Taylor Lorenz of you, I will say. So if we want to talk about, again, internalized misogyny, this is you doing it. This is you shitting on women for trying to come up with ways to fix their solution, like come up with solutions for their problems and change things. And you're just shitting all over them and belittling them. Just listen to how shitty she gets.
But the main tone feels like, once again, directing the onus and tone policing women and the approaches women are taking, rather than the overall system and structures in place. Stupid, dumb women isn't acting girl boss enough, being strong enough.
On what planet is that the tone of Lean In? On what planet is the tone of Lean In, stupid, dumb woman? You're not acting girl boss enough. Like, this is such fucking leftist drivel, truly.
Those notions of what defines strength, girl bossness, are rooted in white supremacy culture. It's okay to be soft-spoken and still be a leader. You should be able to be gentle and still be listened to.
I totally agree with that, right? And yes, there is a systemic problem in corporate America, right? That you have to be a certain way in order to rise through the ranks. Lean In is not trying to create more white men. It's literally about building community with other women, while they're trying to push for structural change. Like, it is a great, wonderful ideological stance that most of us share, right? That it shouldn't just be white men at the top. It shouldn't just be people who lead like white men who get promoted. But what is your path to free us from this, Madison? Like, what are you doing to get us there? To get us to this place where you can be gentle and still be listened to? What is the plan? You don't have one. So you're just shitting on the work that some women are doing to at least treat the symptoms of the disease, while offering no actual solutions to these women. As somebody who has never even been in corporate America, by the way, you have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea what it's like, right? And like I said, Lean In is very much a Gen X feminist movement focused on getting women to take up more space in corporate America, and also finding community in order to network and get more seats at the table, right? Because it's only when more women have seats at the table that they can elevate different kinds of leaders. But what leftists say is, blow up the table. Would love to do that. That sounds great. But how are you going to do it? They never have a fucking plan. They are so against incrementalism that they become against all progress whatsoever. Because if you can't do it perfectly, this is purity testing, Madison. If you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. Like, I personally don't buy into the climbing the corporate ladder shit. I got over that very, very quickly, right? But also, I'm a millennial. I have not spent my entire adult life being ruthlessly discriminated against and sexually harassed in the workplace like Gen X women have. And the reason I haven't is because Gen X women leaned the fuck in and are now in positions of power and making changes. They have shifted the culture. Before Sheryl Sandberg came up with this Lean In idea and trademarked it or whatever. Way, way before. Which, by the way, speaking of Sheryl Sandberg, I think it is also very interesting that Madison is spending so much time shitting on something that she created. Because Sheryl Sandberg is a Jewish woman who interviewed the women raped by Hamas on October 7th. She's the one that put out the documentary Screaming and Then Silence, I believe it was called, that all the leftists try to act like was debunked without any actual evidence of that. So is that why you're focusing so much on Lean In, and why all of a sudden, halfway through the video, you're shitting on girl boss feminism when at the top of this video you were criticizing people for doing that? Are you aware of that, or did they just tell you to put this into the video? That is my question. Girl has never watched 9 to 5, period. Again, this is, like I've said, this is my main issue with leftists, online leftists specifically. They're hypercritical of any moves that women and people of color and queer people are making to thrive within the systems, because we do not yet have the power or the critical mass to actually change the systems. And so they nitpick. They nitpick the actions, the incremental progress we try to make to shift these systems, to change the culture of these systems. And it is happening. Right? They talk a huge game about burning it all down, but there's never a plan how to get there. There's never a lit match or anything. Not even a whiff of smoke. All they want to do is shit on other people who are trying to do things. We all know Madison don't have a fucking plan. That's for sure. Oh, God. All right. Let's keep going.
This all perpetuates the notion that if you don't want to be essentially victimized, you have to lean in to working hard, and that from the top down, things will trickle to you. And if we lift up enough women into high positions, and if you just work hard enough, then women will no longer be victimized and everything will be equal.
It's literally not that. It's not just, oh, let's all just work hard. The point of lean in is building fucking community. What the fuck are you talking? Like, the whole thing is creating these circles. These lean in circles where you find other women who are at similar places in their careers. It's about mentorship and building community, not in a hierarchical way. So what the fuck are you talking about? This was clearly just poured into your ear. Your arrogance is completely unearned.
If you just work hard enough, then women will no longer be victimized and everything will be equal. Yeah, how's that working out for us? Is Grimes or Hillary Clinton really saving the world here? Yet,
like, what the fuck does that even mean? Are Grimes or Hillary Clinton associated with fucking girl boss? I mean, with lean in? I don't understand. And also, why would you put Hillary Clinton and Grimes in the same sentence? Is Grimes girl bossing? Yeah, and if they're not saving the world, what the fuck does that mean? Like, this is just such a reductive, arrogant opinion of shit you know nothing about. Like, this is borrowed magic. This is borrowed power. Like, I don't believe it even when you're saying it. You don't even know anything about Hillary. You don't even know anything about her. Guaranteed. Yeah, famous girl boss, Grimes. Hillary Clinton, what a fucking pick me. What an insanely weird thing to do, Madison.
working out for us. Is Grimes...
Like, what are you doing? This is how I know this came from from her fucking leftist sycophants. Because you gotta throw Hillary under the bus somehow. Mind you, I didn't vote for Hillary in the primary. Back then, way back then. I voted for her when she was the candidate. Because I'm not a fucking idiot. But how is it not internalized misogyny to shit on Grimes and Hillary Clinton and put the weight of everything on these two random women? Like, you're doing the internalized misogyny right now. You're telling women the ways in which it is acceptable to show up. You fucking idiot.
Or Hillary Clinton really saving the world here? Yet through this dialogue, we've found new ways to place all of the blame onto ourselves. Gender pay gap? Lean in more. Do more school, work harder, while also being the main caretaker at home, and put all of that on your shoulders. You can do it all. And if you can't, that's the fault of your own.
This is such a fucking old take. This is like a 10 to 15-year-old take. We are well past. I feel like the pandemic killed anybody's desire to have it all. That is not what we're about. That is not what people are fucking striving for. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, she is like a generation behind with this commentary on feminism. Has she even heard the song 9 to 5? Oh, this is great. This is fucking rich.
All of that on your shoulders. You can do it all. And if you can't, that's the fault of your own, not the systems in place. Suddenly, women are becoming more educated than men. And
suddenly women are becoming more educated than men. It's never happened before. Oops. It's never happened before, guys. Look at this. It is now generally known that women began to earn more college degrees than men in the United States in the mid-1980s. Women have now outpaced men in earning bachelor's degrees for several decades, and that was in 2006. This is what I mean when I say she has no fucking idea what she's talking about, and she thinks just because she is learning things, the entire world is just learning them for the first time. Suddenly, women are getting their college degrees more than men. It's been 40 years, Madison. It's been 40 fucking years. Source, my husband, exactly.
while there's a large number of women entering the corporate pipeline, data shows, in partnership with leanin.org, that women are still struggling to climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah, she says it like it's a gotcha, like, ooh, look, Lean-In's not doing enough. Like, this is the fucking purity testing. If Lean-In hasn't fixed corporate America, it's these dumb bitches' fault. Like, how does she not hear herself? Leanin.org did the study because they're showing that their work is necessary. Oh my fucking God. I did not think that I would be defending leanin.org this much tonight. Because it does have its flaws, but for her to sit here and shit on it, and it's just so dumb. I am pro incremental progress. Especially because nobody who is pro burn it all down ever seems to have a plan for how to burn it down or how to rebuild. I need a plan. I need a plan. I want harm reduction for the people who are working today, right now. I think we can do that while also talking about how to dismantle these systems, but girl, where do we start? Come on, leftists, this is all you fucking talk about. You don't know how to dismantle a system yet? Oh, she's going to say dismantle the systems. Of course she is.
Partnership with leanin.org, that women are still struggling to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe they just need to lean in more instead of collectively working together to dismantle.
Like, girl, the number is going up.
These systems, many women have been unable to tackle their own internalized misogyny and continually blame each other for the problems faced in the day-to-day. There's
like, her arrogance, as I said, is just so unearned. Instead of collectively working together to dismantle these systems, many women have been unable to tackle their own internalized misogyny and continually blame each other for the problems faced in the day-to-day. Give us some examples of that, Madison, because I don't fucking see that. I think women are very much aware of the fact that corporate America is still a boys' club, that it is a patriarchal shithole that is only really alleviated by creating community with other women and networking with other women and using those connections. But you wouldn't understand that because you have never had to work within a system, manipulate a system in order to make a better life for yourself. Because you are a cishet, white, blonde woman born in fucking California. So for you to look down your nose at something like Lean In, which has probably helped a lot of older women in their careers who have spent a lot of their careers being held back and shit on, I just think it's so fucking arrogant. And then to say, oh, well, the reason you're not succeeding is your own internalized misogyny. How is that different than saying you're not succeeding because you're not working hard enough? You're just coming up with another reason to blame women. Right? That's just another reason to blame women.
So many examples throughout history of a woman who's been targeted with such intense veracity. And usually the outlier is she did not conform to the patriarchal norms and was hated with such intensity. Sometimes her
There's so many examples throughout history. Show us one, Madison. Oh, she is going to show us the Salem witch trials. Okay, we got that.
Life even destroyed over it.
I mean,
one of the clearest examples of this taking place are the witch trials, where women who were perceived as strange and unusual were literally killed for it. One of the most shocking aspects to me when learning about the witch trials were
2 weeks ago. Is that when you learned about them?
How many women were involved in accusing other women of being witches. But many of the women or girls who accused other women of witchcraft were ultimately victims themselves. For example,
I mean, they literally all were, Madison. They were living in an extremely puritanical society where women had no rights. And young women, children, girls, had even fewer rights.
in the Salem witch trials in colonial Massachusetts from 1962 to 1963, a group of girls claimed
1692 to 1693. Obviously, it did not happen in the 60s.
To be possessed by the devil, accused local women of witchcraft. The girls at the time were only 9 and 11 years old and started a chain reaction of hysteria as they were essentially coerced or forced to accuse other women in their town of witchcraft. Is this the
girls were... First of all, let me just say, if you were in the fucking age of the Salem witch trials, you definitely give more Abigail Williams than somebody who would have stood up against it. Like the way that you dogpile on people that are already being dogpiled on, the way that you swoop in and strike on topics that people are already foaming at the mouth about, it's giving Abigail Williams. Google it. Google it, Madison.
Effect of convincing people in an oppressed system that they can be saved simply by making another situation worse? Another prominent example, but in literature, is Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter.
Did you read that book, Madison, for this? Have you read The Scarlet Letter?
Scarlet Letter is a literary classic which examines the different shaming tactics that are used to humiliate and silence women in a Puritan culture. In the novel, the main character, Hester, has a child out of wedlock. She was publicly shamed by being forced to stand on a scaffold in the middle of a town square while her neighbors were encouraged to mock her.
Okay, how is that related to internalized misogyny? Why don't you give us a quote from the book?
No man.
Give us a quote from the book. Thank you, Care the Bear. Quote us a passage from The Scarlet Letter that exemplifies internalized misogyny. Oh, you didn't read it? Okay. Okay. Well, then your book report gets an incomplete.
That's really brave of you. Thank you.
At care_the bear bravely gave $2.
Alex. She watched the movie. Hang on, what does it say? She watched the movie Easy A instead of reading. Yeah, didn't even watch the original Scarlet Letter. Okay, so she's saying like, oh, they mocked her.
In the middle of a town square while her neighbors were encouraged to mock her. What does this kind of sound like? Kind of sounds like the modern day internet, doesn't it?
It does. And it sounds specifically like your favorite corner of the internet. It sounds like your videos on your main channel. It sounds like your videos on your backup channel. And it sounds like literally everything That happens in the Snark subreddit. That happens on the Content Crash Out TikTok and all of your other favorite sources. The mob mentality of dogpiling on people and ganging up on them and mocking them. It is the same. Where have I seen that before? Oh, in my own community. And you just fan the flames.
This sounds like just being online. She was driven to the edge of her community.
No, it's not just being online. It is being in toxic communities like yours.
And forced to live in isolation. We see this as horrific, like to think we're a much more evolved society, but I still question how much more evolved we really are. Here's the point of the video where I want to bring up more modern examples of online or media takedown, where people—
I'm going to skip this because there's literally no internalized misogyny in it. She just talks about like famous women and the fact that like the media shit on them. There's no internalized misogyny at all. But we are going to skip to the discussion about Kim Kardashian because that is of interest.
People have targeted doesn't excuse people shaming, mocking, and whether or not she was
okay.
America ended. Canada did great though.
Then there's Kim Kardashian. Now, obviously, I think there are many valid reasons to criticize Kim Kardashian.
Is that because you've made 5 videos about her? Is that why she's not like the other ones? Because you've made multiple videos about her and her family, some of which are specifically focused on her body and her sister's bodies and all the plastic surgery they've gotten? Now, obviously, there's valid reasons to criticize Kim Kardashian because you have criticized her. And your criticism is always valid and should never be interrogated by yourself for your own internalized misogyny, right? Okay, cool.
As I have made deep dives on the Kardashian family. That being said, when Kim first—
Literally, she's just... Like, is the whole point of this video to be like, internalized misogyny is bad, but not mine? Like, that's what it feels like. When I criticize women, it's fine. But when people criticize me, it's misogyny.
First rose to prominence, she was heavily criticized for a leaked sex tape, mocked and slut-shamed. Whether or not her family was behind the leak itself, it doesn't excuse people shaming, mocking, and being so misogynistic towards her.
Like doing a whole video about her plastic surgery and specifically her BBL. That feels like a weird thing to do, Madison. All right, let's skip ahead to Misty Copeland. Because when I tell you none of this has any fucking relevance at all, it's literally just about straight up misogyny and not about internalized misogyny at all.
Scarlet Letter.
I feel like she learned about Scarlet Letter from this bitch. I don't even know who this is.
Oh, that deserves a Scarlet Letter. That's not how it works. Like, I can do whatever I sin daily, and Jesus still loves me.
Misty Copeland speaks on body shaming in her autobiography.
Did you read this book? Is this a book that you read?
Life in Motion, an unlikely ballerina. She was told she couldn't be a ballerina because she was black and because those in the industry felt she didn't have the classic shape of a ballerina.
I mean, there's so much deeper kind of underlying meaning behind the things I was told. Because when people meet me, you know, they're like, wow, you're really small. You're very petite and you're lean. And so, you know, I've had to think a lot about why those things are being said to me, or even look at the bodies next to me of the dancers who are not black and say, do we look that different? I mean, I was told I was too muscular, I was too short, my breasts are too big. And to me, that's all code for your skin is too dark. Your skin is too brown.
I could talk about
what does this literally what does this have to do with internalized misogyny?
This endlessly, from Billie Holiday to Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, you can talk about it endlessly because it's just general misogyny happening to very famous people. It has nothing to do with your video.
And so many examples. Just recently at Thanksgiving, I was lectured.
Oh, here's another story that is personal and makes no fucking sense and is not related at all.
By someone for using an example of Brad Pitt in one of my videos.
That's the video where, I think that's a video where she compares Brad Pitt abusing Angelina and the children to Ethan Klein and makes it seem like he is abusive. Right? That was you, right, Madison? That was your video?
Because of the abuse allegations by his family, because women make false allegations all the time that destroy famous men's lives. But
okay, was that a woman who said that to you? Because that would make this story germane to your video. But if it wasn't a woman, then why are you sharing it? You've just sort of like slipped off into like the celebrity dimension, which I think is kind of like going on autopilot for you, right? Because of all the videos you've made about celebrities. A lot of women, by the way, criticizing a lot of women. Hours and hours and hours and hours of content of you criticizing women. I wonder if any of that was internalized misogyny. No? It was all above board? Okay.
just off the fairly simple research for this video, there's a deep well, a plethora of women whose careers have been destroyed not because of serious allegations, but due to them seemingly falling out of line and acting in a way media and culture has deemed unacceptable, or simply because of qualities they naturally had and were born with. I can't help but notice this stark contrast. I don't know what to do with it other than call it out.
Wow. You're so brave for noticing what literally everyone has noticed and called out for fucking centuries, that there is a double standard for how men and women are treated within the patriarchy. I don't know what to do with it other than call it out. You didn't need to. Everyone's been doing this. Like, this video adds nothing to the conversation about internalized misogyny at all. And maybe it's a helpful primer for young people, but like, this is just the most obvious shit and isn't even really relevant to what's happening today. It's like very old stuff that she's talking about. And I feel like this is like, I don't know, this feels like research that she should keep in like her Feminism 101 notebook and keep learning and like adding on to this instead of like showing up with like a condescending attitude, acting like she just discovered inequality.
While the hate these women received came from all genders and was associated with misogyny, what cannot be ignored and should be included in this discussion is that women also did take part in the hate, the misogyny, the oppression.
Gives no example. Gives no examples of any of the women she just talked about experiencing direct internalized misogyny. It probably would not have been hard to do. There's a point where she talks about Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton. She could have talked about the fire crotch thing, which was clearly internalized misogyny, right? I'm sure there's stuff about Britney Spears, like Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera. It's just fucking lazy. It's just lazy, girl. If you're gonna act like you Christopher Columbus internalized misogyny, actually come with fucking receipts. And not just quotes from very old research papers and clips that make no sense.
According to a study titled Internalized Misogyny, the Patriarchy Inside Our Heads, when women experience
this is 1998.
Dissatisfaction with themselves due to negative stereotypes associated with femininity in society, this discontent may extend to other women. By adopting their behavior to align with male expectations, women may experience psychological relief in the present moment, but they ultimately perpetuate their own oppression and maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
This is why numerous women resort to internalized misogyny as a psychological
1983, 2000, like... This is why reading is so important, okay? When you read things, you realize that other people have already had the thoughts that you are having for the first time. It's why it's important as a writer to read novels that have been popular in the past, like well-written books that people love, the classics. Because then you realize, oh, I'm not the first person who wants to fucking write about a guy going after a whale, right? Like, there is so much context that you don't know about. How do you read these fucking studies from a generation ago and think, yeah, I'm just gonna like say the exact thing they said 20, 25 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, and really bang it out, really make an impact, specifically on online internalized misogyny. Mind you, has there been any focus really on the online portion at all? Except you're saying, this is like being on the internet. This is all just fucking basic internalized misogyny, and not even. It's like basic misogyny 101.
Defense mechanism,
Oh
which
God,
helps them navigate
endless.
a world characterized by oppression. They internalize the belief in their own inferiority, and while some women question this disturbing feeling, others simply ignore or deny it. Internalized.
So yeah, the phenomenon that you have just discovered has been dissected ad nauseum by scientists and scholars for decades. Either show new research, add something new in your own commentary, or shut the fuck up.
Misogyny also creates confirmation bias, where you only see women online in a certain way, so anything deemed problematic only reinforces that in your brain, and anything good is automatically ignored in your mind. It's a losing game for the women who may genuinely have something, well, genuine to provide. It's like they're putting content out into the world with a held up to their head, and one wrong move will set off a ton of people and confirm what most people already subconsciously thought about them the entire time. Studies also show that
That's so interesting, Madison. It really feels like you're talking about yourself here. It's like they're putting content out into the world with a gun held up to their head, and one wrong move will set off a ton of people and confirm what most people already subconsciously thought about them the entire time. Like, this just feels like it's her own internal anxieties about putting out content. Like you really thought you ate with that Ethan Klein video, but now you're blaming the blowback on all of us having confirmation bias and being internally misogynized, and that is what's getting in the way of us agreeing with you and leaving positive comments and adopting the belief that, you know, Hila is a pedophile and Ethan is a groomer on drugs. It's just the internalized misogyny getting in the way that's making us leave critical comments. That's all. Just confirmation bias.
the comments under a post do affect the way people perceive the user who posted it. This is
okay. I cannot understand her fucking point here. That's all I'm going to say. And I will say the research that she shows is from an undergraduate, a 3-minute and 35-second undergraduate presentation from University of New Hampshire. Okay? I don't know. It does not seem like this PowerPoint was peer reviewed. There were research, what's the word? Not assistants. It was like the, advisors. There were research advisors, but that's it. You guys let me know if you can figure out A, what the research is saying, and B, what she's trying to glean from this research done by like 19-year-olds.
This is why harassment campaigns work, but some researchers believe you are more susceptible to this if you have higher levels of internalized misogyny. I cannot say susceptible right now in that sentence.
I don't understand what that is.
work. But some researchers believe you are more susceptible to this if you have higher levels of internalized misogyny. I cannot say susceptible right now in that sentence.
I don't understand what that is about at all.
There has been a considerable body of research exploring the idea that outsider input on social media, such as comments on a post, affects the way that people perceive the content and the user who posted it. However, far fewer research has explored individual differences that may play a role in the level of malleability in such perceptions of others on social media. One such individual difference may be internalized misogyny. Internalized misogyny is described as a woman's negative feelings towards femininity.
Like, she just, like, put this whole fucking thing in.
That helps men and masculinity maintain power. They might show this through minimizing the value of women, not trusting women, or having beliefs that favor men.
So she literally in that video, it says that this is an area that does not have a lot of research at this time. So this is a trash source with peace and love for something like this. All right, so here she is trying to explain what just happened.
Essentially, if you see an Instagram post of a woman posing and a comment says, "stupid bitch," normally most people would think that's a really weird comment. However, if you have high levels of internalized misogyny, this comment may actually influence how you view the woman in the photo. The sad thing is,
if you hate women and you see someone call a woman a stupid bitch, you might also think that woman is a stupid bitch. Is that it? This is terrible. Thank you. Okay, because I was like, what? Your internalized misogyny will influence the way you read a man calling a woman a stupid bitch. Like, yes? But is that worth saying? Open the homeschools. Period. I don't get that. All right, let's keep going because we got a who the fuck did I marry to do after this.
women with high levels of internalized misogyny may even be aware of this and so afraid of this reality becoming their own reality that they lash out at other women in hopes that it will somehow protect them from this same fate. There isn't really
that whole thing just gave me like a fucking mini stroke. Like maybe I was wrong. Maybe I don't want you to engage with the videos and the research that you put in here. Maybe it's better if you just let that stuff speak for itself and you don't try to essentially it, because that makes no sense. That makes no fucking sense. I mean, that was the blind leading the blind, I feel like. Don't cite undergraduate PowerPoint presentations, Madison. You're better than that. Like there is so much research. There is so much research on internalized misogyny. I don't understand why all of her sources are like 20 years old or this. It doesn't make sense to me.
A strict definition for this, that it will somehow protect them from this same fate. There isn't really a strict definition for this sort of online behavior or archetype. One would think that it would be seen as the counterpart.
First of all, there is a definition for this online behavior or archetype. It's snark. It's either internalized misogyny, which is a term that already exists and is well researched and has, well defined, or it's snark. Okay, then she goes into femcells, and it just there's nothing of use in this femcell section. She's basically gone off on this like bird walk of like, hey, maybe femcells and incels are the same,
and also with you,
but just different genres or genders.
Just bought Kate new guantas. Lou loving this show with my dinner. Keep it up, Kate. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji. Raised hand emoji. Raised fist emoji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to skip the femcell shit because it's literally, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it to be in here. Let's skip to this part. There's a little bit about Pearl. But we don't really need that. She calls Pearl a pick-me, unironically, which is just fucking stupid. So that's the femcel shit.
Ways in which they behave seems very different. The incel has been characterized to lash out to soothe their own ego. For example, I would argue that Pearl was not only a pick-me, but a self-hating person with high levels of internalized misogyny. This
just unironically using the term pick-me, which again, Madison, is a term created by men to demean women. I've said it before, because you keep using this term like it isn't loaded with anything. Calling Pearl a pick-me is misogynistic. Even if you don't like her, that is misogynistic. Sorry, I need to put my little slippies on. My toe-toes are cold. Fucking Christ.
This is a behavior where instead of directing all the anger and frustration a woman has with society with herself in a self-constructive way, she decides to direct it at other women. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like blurring her cat's asshole is crazy. I just noticed that. No one cares about your cat's butthole.
Hey, this sort of archetype soothes their internalized self-hatred through the takedowns of other women.
This is literally... You're literally describing the people that frequent your favorite source, the Leftovers H3 subreddit.
Internet has allowed misogyny to congregate in large numbers and to criticize other women based on meaningless nitpicks like her looks, her attitude, everything about her, and it's been normalized. No one
has it?
Has really noticed this or called it out, because when internet misogyny happens, it's often assumed to be the men behind the issue.
No one has noticed this. No one has noticed it? That's so interesting. I think a lot of us have noticed it. Because, check this out. This is just searching Ela on Leftovers H3. Just all mean, ugly threads, comments, pictures, videos, like, about a woman. Done mostly by other women. And we know that because your favorite, Taylor Lorenz, has actually talked about the fact that most snarks are full of women. People have noticed. People have noticed. It is insane the blind spot you have. Like, if you're going to sit there and talk about online internet internalized misogyny or online internalized misogyny and give no examples, when your faves are perpetuating some of the most disgusting internalized misogyny, okay, let's see what you said. To criticize other women, hold on. The internet has allowed misogyny to congregate in large numbers and to criticize other women based on meaningless nitpicks like her looks, her attitude, everything about her. That's literally what snark does. So it really feels like you know that. If you have actually done this research yourself and are not just putting this video together based on what other people have researched, I don't understand how you go through all of this and write it all out and not realize that that is what you're seeing in snark subreddits. Not even just Leftovers H3. The Trisha subreddits are horrible. The Britney Spears subreddits are horrible. Like literally any famous female celebrity, there's Taylor Swift ones, are just riddled with the internalized misogyny you seem to be really grasping at examples for. They are literally under your nose. They are where you are hanging out. Is that why you can't give a real example? Because you're afraid of the backlash? If you talked about where the real internet internalized misogyny is? Or are you trying to say it's someone like me who criticized you for your video? Not your looks, not anything personal about you. Yes, I poked fun at your filler words. That was just for entertainment. But in general, I think the criticism of you by people in our community has been pretty fair. And so I'm just wondering, who are you actively avoiding calling out? It's very noticeable. People have noticed. We continue to notice. And in 2026, it feels like we're going to find out just how many women are behind all of this misogyny that's coming out of your favorite places. Can't wait.
Kind of grew up thinking that millennials and Gen Z were better than the generations before when it came to misogyny. But the ways in which the internet in general gets so excited over another controversial woman is just kind of weird. Again,
kind of weird. That is your bread and butter, girly pop. That is your lifeblood. You are contributing to that. When do we get to interrogate ourselves here, Madison, and interrogate our own participation in the internalized misogyny and in the scarlet lettering of women online?
And there are legitimate reasons to criticize. And
Literally
also, there are
career.
fair and ethical ways to criticize people. For example...
Oh, yeah. This is amazing. There are fair and ethical ways to criticize people. Her example is herself and a video she hasn't made yet.
Reasons to criticize. And also, there are fair and ethical ways to criticize people. For example, I'm working on a video on Becca Bloom that I hope is fair, valid, and neutral, instead of just going in on Becca in a misogynistic way.
Oh, we're gonna see. I don't trust you to do that. I don't trust you to do that. And part of me thinks you put out this video to frame your next video in a certain way, or to give yourself the pass to criticize this woman. A woman of color, by the way. I know nothing about her. She could be a total dirtbag. I don't know anything about her. But it really does feel like you're asking for permission. Hey, 1 month member, Rich Lux. We love you, Rich.
Women are often covering topics that have to do with women online because women often tend to have a women-based audience. So I also think it's invalid to just basically claim that any woman who makes videos about women is misogynistic. But
is that because you made 5 videos about Kim Kardashian? Is that why it's invalid?
When does it cross the line into rumination and a cycle where the same talking points are being repeated over and over into oblivion? And
like in your 5 videos about Kim Kardashian?
It's not being constructive, but completely destructive. Essentially, does the punishment fit the crime?
Would you call your videos constructive? You never have any advice. You never have an opinion. You're just putting out all the worst shit that people have said about these women.
Again, personally speaking here, though I often don't like diving into personal anecdotes in my videos too much, one of the things I've noticed—
Girl, yes you fucking do. Yes you do. You love doing that, and they never make any sense.
Most within the criticism I've received of my own content or just existing online is people criticizing me for the way that I speak. Either I'm not speaking fast enough for them, or I mispronounced a word. If it's an important cultural word or a name, I understand that completely.
See, guys, this is why I didn't talk about exacerbate.
but making an occasional mistake on a mispronunciation and using that as a way to not take me seriously or call me stupid feels like a derailment and a major logical fallacy.
No, I think you're stupid because the things you put together are stupid. I am not somebody who is super hung up on grammar or spelling mistakes or things like that. Because to some degree it's classist, right? Like that ends up happening.
And also with
and also being a grammar snob is just like so fucking obnoxious. That is
seems like she has been living under a rock for many
Yes,
years or
thank
someone
you.
has something on her or vice versa.
Thank you, Beth. And that is so true. That is of no interest to me. And I think that if you're to the point where you're just like nitpicking the way someone spells things, you don't really have an argument, right? You're just trying to be annoying. But no, I think your videos lack focus. They lack substance. They lack research. All of that makes me think that you are unintelligent. In a world when you have the internet at your fingertips and you could learn to do better, you don't. So that's why I think that you shouldn't be making these videos. It's not because you're a woman. It's not because you misspell things or mispronounce things. It's because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you know what? You would seem a lot less dumb if you just admitted that. It's actually very smart to admit you don't know things or that you're in over your head or that you need more information. It's stupid people who come online and try to act like they're the experts in things and lecture other people. Hassan Piker.
Or if I'm participating in a live stream, which I'm new to doing and wanting to do more of.
What is this? What is all this like excuses at the end of this?
Because it's certainly a weak point for me online. It's my frequent use of filler words, which I'm sure could be obnoxious to listen to, but instead of judging what I'm saying based on its merit, everything becomes about tone policing. The way...
Okay, I did both, so I feel like we're cool. I did have a filler word counter, right? But that was kind of in the background, but we also talked about like the actual substance of your posts, of your videos, which there wasn't much substance. Right?
Way in which I'm saying it. Tone policing is something women and those in marginalized communities have dealt with for a long time. For example,
this fucking pissed me off. First of all, talking about your filler words is not fucking tone policing, Madison.
Everything becomes about tone policing, the way in which I'm saying it. Tone policing is something women and those in marginalized communities have dealt with for a long time. For example, the use of AAVE by Black individuals was tone policed as a form of discrimination and a means to criticize and dismiss Black people, rather than listening to the merits of their words. The use of like is seen as evidence that a woman is vapid, stupid, not to be taken seriously.
Madison Harnish, I'm going to use my teacher voice on you. Do not for a fucking second compare someone poking fun at your filler words to the systemic discrimination that Black people continue to face based on the way they talk. This is so, you want to talk about tone. This is so tone deaf and so fucking offensive. You are not being tone policed. You using that word, that phrase, you are weaponizing language that you do not have the right to be using, in my opinion. You are not being tone policed. Tone policing is when people tell a Black woman she needs to calm down. She's being too angry. It is not someone saying that you use a lot of filler words. I genuinely cannot believe you just compared white women being teased for the word like to the way AAVE has been policed. Like the history of that. Like This is what I mean when I say it is smarter to just admit you don't know things. Because now you look really fucking stupid. And also, what does any of this have to do with internalized misogyny? This is literally just you feeling sorry for yourself and comparing yourself to actually marginalized people to try and make yourself look like more of a victim. The use of AAVE by Black individuals was tone policed as a form of discrimination and a means to criticize and dismiss Black people rather than listening to the merits of their words. Well, that right there eliminates you from tone policing because your words lack merit on their face. People aren't missing anything when they poke fun at your filler words. Nothing is being obscured. Your words lack merit. There is no merit, in my opinion, to absorb. And again, where is the internalized misogyny here? It's not here.
Women are conditioned to use filler words more frequently in conversation because they're more likely to be interrupted, point derailed, not listened to. And yet filler words were also deemed something to be seen as stupid.
They're more interrupted by men, which is not internalized misogyny. You are off the path again, girl. You're off the path.
As a reason to not take them seriously. As this study notes, another strong aspect of internalized misogyny.
God fucking damn it. Why is it freezing again? Who else loves it when Guam says right after she's done making a point? That's my filler word. I definitely have filler words.
Internalization of the feeling to never be good enough. Lack of self-confidence stems from this socialization, and they quickly develop a vocabulary around claims of ignorance. It's a way to share an opinion or a fact without seeming arrogant.
Girl, I wish you claimed ignorance more. You do not claim ignorance enough. You have a lot to learn, and that is okay. The problem is not that you're ignorant. It's that you keep fucking talking about things you don't know about. That is what's annoying and frustrating.
Too assertive or argumentative. It's a type of...
Oh, ugh, she's such a pick-me. The impact of social media on feelings of internalized misogyny among girls. I think this was the research paper where there was a disclaimer on the source, like when you pulled it up. Oh, my cats love going in an empty laundry basket. So you might hear him scratching around in there. And scratching inside my brain, and now I forgot my point. Oh, this source had like a pop-up that was like, this article may not have been peer-reviewed. There are things that you missed. There are things that you missed in your education, Madison, that are important. Yeah, look how old these sources are. Who said Daddy Guam? Get the fuck out of my chat. What the fuck? That is the first time that I've ever seen that. Teddy, someone in chat said, pss, pss, pss. How do you feel about that? Oh, he's digging for gold in there. He's in the mines right now, in the laundry mines.
Fake politeness that serves as erasure. These claims of ignorance often take the form of the general statement, I don't know, used as a gap filler or an introduction. You know, that one hit home.
Okay, there's a little bit of like self-referential, right? We could have used that more in like an actual exploration of your own internalized misogyny, right? But hey, beggars can't be choosers here.
No, used as a gap filler or an introduction. You know, that one hit home. It was really tempting to bring up specific examples of content creators in this video who dogpile on women, who use...
Oh, I wish you would, girl. I wish you fucking would.
Come on,
on out, little guy. You're crowning.
At Mullen Rossales just birthed 250. Victory hand emoji.
Thank
Heart hands
you.
emoji.
Thank you, Mullen. Gwatty, I hate you people. I wish you would bring up some specific examples. Like I said, specificity is the key. And I'm just so curious about who you would say is dogpiling. What women are dogpiling on other women. Because it really feels like I would be in that category. Especially because you have brought me up multiple times in multiple interviews to make yourself look like a victim. But then you really just ended up making yourself look like a bitch.
Use logical fallacies and misogynistic talking points to participate in...
Girl, do you think that you're stuck? Hang on. Can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag.
When is she calling in?
You're really just... What a fucking idiot. He's just laying in there just like he's fucking swimming.
Takedowns as opposed to engaging critically and logically with the online rhetoric. But if I were to do so, I'm afraid this video would easily turn negative. The content I could essentially call out could become endless. Escaping internalized misogyny is, well, virtually impossible in a patriarchal world. Naturally, it seems much of the online world is simply drawn to content that contains more misogyny as opposed to content that actively works against it. And it seems like
Madison, like a genuine question, because you are positioning yourself as somewhat of an expert here.
Want to be with you and also with
Thank you.
At Alex_the_fiction just bought Kate new guantes. Kate, ask yourself why Hyla didn't send you teddy clothes.
So true. It's so true. It's Hila's internalized misogyny, actually. She's talking here about why. Let's see. It seems much of the online world is simply drawn to content that contains more misogyny as opposed to content that actively works against it. Well, given like the size of your base, it feels like you're making content that contains internalized misogyny.
With the mic, when is she calling in?
If you feel like the online world is drawn to that, right? So are you now making content that actively works against misogyny? Like, do you think that you are an expert enough on making that kind of content to show up and try to lecture us about it? Did you even read the Scarlet Letter? Oy vey, Madison. Okay, again, she's going to do criticism's okay for me, but not for thee.
Ultimately, that's something that you have to actively work against within yourself, no matter your gender. That doesn't mean dialogue, criticism, or callouts are inherently misogynistic. I myself will likely make many...
Mine aren't. Yours are, but mine aren't.
Deep dives on women who are famous or influencers, speaking on their stories, influence, and criticizing them where I deem it's valid. But I think there should be more responsibility placed in the way we go in on, well, people in general.
That's a great idea, Madison. Why don't you start with your fucking friends?
Growing trend of dehumanization online, calling out people simply for acting cringe or doing something embarrassing.
Dehumanization. Wow, I can think of so many examples of that. The Raider of Ramallah, baby killers. Is this whole video just trying to defend her content? It sure feels that way.
Using gotchas as a way to slam dunk on someone or nitpick. What road are we traveling down? And what is the end destination here? Social media...
she's so morally principled. I'm just so jealous.
Already exposes people to some of the darkest aspects of humanity. Do we really need to punch down whenever possible? And if we are doing so, maybe it's time to look inward at what that really says about us.
Well, Madison, you have over 600,000 followers on your main account, and you punched at me. I've only got like 12K. Like, you punched down, girl. I am a small queer creator. So does that mean it's time for you to look inward at what that really says about you? That it's a coping mechanism that some people use to soothe themselves because their lives are spinning out of control?
that maybe it's a coping mechanism some people are doing to soothe themselves because their lives are spinning out of control. The world is falling apart.
Oops.
Every day they're becoming more and more oppressed, but they can leave a hate comment under a video, debase someone, and that makes them feel a little bit more in control.
Girl, that is, you are literally describing snark. And the thing is, I know she's not talking about snark. I know she's talking about people who have criticized her. Like, just so self-centered. Ugh. Someone needs to make a snark video. I'm not going to do it, but someone needs to do it. Like a real deep dive. I'm just not built for the deep dive life. Not on live, not on live at least. All right, so my overall critiques here, it's completely disorganized. It is the content is basic beyond belief. Like not even 101 feminism, it's like remedial feminism. Which again, I'll say there is an audience for it, but it's not done well here. If you're going to do something this surface level, Madison, you have to make it very accessible. And jumping around and rambling off in different directions and not keeping everything very tied to the thesis makes it very hard to follow. There was a lot of shit in there that didn't need to be there. Clips, research that was only loosely tied to internalized misogyny, right? All of the research was so dated, and very little of any of it is related to the internet because you were too scared to actually show examples of online internalized misogyny, which is what the video is about. But then you don't show even a single example of that. Except for that one undergraduate PowerPoint presentation. That was very confusing to understand. That was your only real concrete example of internet internalized misogyny. And that was nothing. There's also no self-reflection at all or any realization that you are participating. You are actively contributing to misogyny online. You have actively participated in the harassment of other women on the basis of misogynistic talking points, their looks, the clothes they wear, right? Where they were born, things they can't help. And like I said, what you are describing and what you were afraid to give examples of is snark. The majority of snarkers are women. I agree with Taylor on that. I think that has to be true. Because of the way women are socialized to do everything in a passive aggressive way behind each other's backs, anonymously, right? That's like the only way we are allowed to express aggression is in that sense. And we are still out of control in a lot of areas of our life, right? All the things that she could have articulated much better. But for her to talk about the idea, the theory of online internalized misogyny and not give any examples, not talk at all about the culture of snark. It doesn't even have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be about leftovers, H3. It can be about Trisha snark. It can be about Colleen Ballinger snark, even though everyone hates her for a reason. It can be about the fact that it's led to multiple influencer suicides, right? Like, this is serious shit. So is that a thread that you're afraid to pull for a reason? See, Kwam blurring the lines like she blurred that cat's asshole. Like, it's bad. It was bad. It was boring. It was frustrating at times. Your arrogance and your air of authority are completely unearned on this topic. You have a lot to learn. And it's not going to come from whatever butthole you're pulling these sources out of. I hope that you are really starting to think more about misogyny and feminism, but this video, it just felt like a vanity project. It felt like a passive-aggressive way to criticize women who have criticized you, and also to give yourself permission to continue making the same kind of videos that many would consider internally misogynistic, right? That's what this feels like. All right, I am fucking done talking about her. Let's switch over to members only and do Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Does that sound good? All right, I am going to reset, and I will see you guys over there in just a moment.